All right, Larry Kruger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with Krug's Draft Gems as we look at the Utah defensive end, Jonah Ellis, one of my favorite players in the entire draft. But first, let's talk a little bit about Pig in a Pickle. Two locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Awesome food. Get the brisket chili, the pulled pork, the barbecued chicken. It's all fantastic. Go say hi to Damon and Mary and tell them that Larry Kruger sent you. All right, let's talk a little bit about Jonah Ellis. And if you say Ellis, that name sounds familiar. That's because there's a huge family, a football family. His father, Luther, played a decade in the NFL. His brother, Caden, played with the Falcons. His brother, Christian, played with the Eagles. His brother Noah plays at Idaho. You know, the Ellis family is well known. But Jonah Ellis is who we're talking about today. He wore number 83 for the Utah Utes, and he's from Moscow, Idaho. He's 6'2", 243 pounds. So he's a little bit smaller than what, the Niners would typically like in their wide nine defensive ends. But, we've seen like Harold Landry, for example, from Tennessee, plays in the wide nine, and he's about the exact same size, and he's had a lot of success, in the wide nine at that size. So let's talk, though, about Jonah Ellis. I love this player, man. He's grown on me. When you first look at him, you're like, doesn't have the length, doesn't have the athleticism, doesn't have the burst, doesn't have this, doesn't have that. And then when you watch him, you realize this guy's a hell of a player. 38-inch vertical, 6.69 in the three-cone drill. Now, if you don't know scouting, then that doesn't mean anything to you. But a sub 7.0 in a three-cone drill for a defensive end is absolutely amazing agility. And this guy checked in at 6.69. So he's got all kinds of agility, all kinds of bend. He also had a 17.7% pass rush win rate this year, which was second to Michael Hall from Ohio State in all of college football as a pass rusher. What really, if there's one word that defines Jonah Ellis, it's motor. The guy's motor is unbelievable. And he's got a nice array of pass rush moves for a young player. He's got a crazy spin move counter inside. He's very agile, excellent lateral agility, really, really quick. Moved from linebacker to defensive end before the 2022 season. He doesn't have like powerful hands, but he's got quick hands. As I said, the son of Luther Ellis, a 10-year NFL veteran. What defines Jonah Ellis? Effort. He's a high effort player. He was a 3-star recruit. And he just gets better and better and better. When you watch him, he's big in the second half of games. He keeps coming. I thought he was fantastic against UCLA in September, where he had 10 tackles and 3.5 sacks. And there was a lot of talk going into that game about Latu, and Ellis wanted to show what he had. And he had 10 tackles and 3.5 sacks. He had 12 sacks on the year this year. Just a tremendous player. I mean, this guy is really a good football player. Now, he lacks size. He's going to struggle to set the edge in the run game. He's much more of a rotational defensive end. There's a chance that if you play him as a full every down guy, he's going to get engulfed by big, strong offensive tackles that are just going to be too much for him. But if you play him the way the Niners typically play their defensive linemen in a rotation, this guy's going to be terrific. 2023 first-team All-American. He had his 2023 season ended early because of a partially torn labrum, so that ended his year early. But he just keeps coming, and he just keeps working at it. And he's always better as the game progresses. He's a much better second half player than he is a first half player. I would say he's probably a round 3 or early round 4 pick that could be there even later, just because he won't fit every team scheme. He doesn't He's not a big every down run defender. He's not going to be your full-time defensive end. He has to play in a rotation. But what this guy offers you as far as pass rush, and, there's veteran pass rushers who have all kinds of moves, but they lack quickness. Then there's young pass rushers who have all kinds of quickness, but they lack moves. This guy is a young pass rusher that has all kinds of agility and quickness, but also has an array of pass rush moves right now. He's got a very advanced game in the present. And if you just want to draft him in the middle rounds, play him in a rotation off the edge, I think you're going to get a player who's going to sack the quarterback, who's going to be a threat. If there's a guy that he reminds me of, maybe a little bit of Nick Herbig, who played this year as a rookie for the Steelers out of Wisconsin, who showed a lot of pass rush moves and desire and motor for the Steelers. Did they play Herbig every down? No, they had TJ Watt and they had other guys. But in a rotation, he can get after the quarterback. And that's what the Niners do. They play these guys in waves. And, is this guy a big physical edge setting monster? No. But if you watch him, you'll be very, very impressed. I'm going to share the screen here as well on him, because I think you got to see this kid to really appreciate him. Here he is here. And you'll see an array of these moves. This is the UCLA game. He just bull rushes the tight end back into the quarterback. Now he spins inside. Boom, spin. Inside, boom. He's hitting the quarterback. The guy's got effort. Here he's coming on the backside against the run. He's a hustler. He can dip the shoulder and keep coming. Here he keeps coming on the quarterback. So, he's a high effort guy. He's not the guy who's going to be like, wow, this guy's 6'6", 275, and look at him come off the edge. He's more of a technician at 245, 250, but the moves and the motor are excellent. And if you watch him, that's enough, I think, for him to have success in the NFL. Tremendous moves, unbelievable motor, great lineage of family talent. And I just love this player. I would say for the Niners, you would want to grab him in either with your pick in the 90s in round 3, or maybe, you got a couple picks right there in early round 4. I think the Niners have 3 picks in round 4. This might be a guy that you want to use one of those round 4 picks on. Jonah Ellis, watch his film, check him out. As I said, sub 7.0 for a 3-cone drill is an awesome time. And this guy had, an amazing 3-cone where he just absolutely lit it up. 6.69 in the 3-cone. And then when you watch him on the field, you can see the agility. You can see the moves. Terrific talent. Jonah Ellis. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krueg Show. Thanks to all you guys for checking out the Krueg Show on YouTube.